But in the spirit of Halloween, this week's Wreck on the Road takes us to a cemetery for a little ghost story.
That's right, Ariane. Today we meet a man who has made a living of telling ghost stories from the state of Virginia. Nobody tells them better than L.B. Taylor. Buckle your seatbelts. It's time now to hit the road. Well, this week's Wreck on the Road takes us to Yorktown, Virginia. We are sitting in the middle of a cemetery. We're joined by L.B. Taylor, an author of over nearly 50 books. His last 23 have been about ghosts, Ghosts of Virginia. His latest book is called Ghost of Virginia's Tidewater. L.B., tell me about this book.
Well, it covers this general area from Gloucester, say, out to Virginia Beach, and from there, all Norfolk and so forth, out to the Plantation Row and to Colonial Williamsburg area.
Okay, you've got a lot of great ghost stories. You've encountered a lot of neat people with a lot of great stories. Just give us one, this being Halloween week.
Well, one I like particularly it was told to me by a woman who came up to me when I was doing a book signing at the Newport News Fall Festival a few years ago. She's a very well-dressed lady, and she said, I've got something to tell you, but I know you won't believe me. I said, well, try me. I hear that a lot. And she said when she was 12 years old, her grandmother died, and they buried her grandmother in a pearl gray suit. And as they were lowering the coffin in the ground, this 12-year-old girl dropped 3 pink rose petals on top of the coffin because her grandmother had always loved pink roses. Well, about 40 years later, this 12-year-old girl, now a grown woman, was in a hospital for a very serious cancer operation. They didn't know if she was going to live or die. She was in intensive care, no flowers, no visitors. And as they were getting ready to take her in the operating room, a vision of her dead grandmother appeared to her, dressed in the same pearl gray suit. And the vision spoke and said, don't worry, you will live to see your children's children. And with that, the vision vanished. The men came in as they lifted her from the hospital bed to the gurney to take her in the operating room. 3 pink rose petals flooded to the floor.
Now, have you ever had any personal encounters yourself?
Nothing happens to me. I'm not so sensitive to that kind of phenomenon, but I have been scared. Mm-hmm. It occurred a few years ago when I was at a house in Bowling Green, Virginia called Old Mansion. It's over 300 years old. A lot of weird things happened there over the years. There were murders, there were suicides. One woman was frightened to death, allegedly. And the owner invited me up to get a tour of the house and learn of its history. As I drove down the driveway, it was at 8 o'clock at night, pitch black, dark, and I couldn't see anything. When I got out of the car, something thumped me in the chest, knocked me back a step or two, and I could feel the hair on the back of my neck curl. And I said, well, young man, you're going to have your first live encounter. Turned out to be the owner's large, friendly black lab.
And like you said, most of the time it's explainable, and there it is.
Well, I think 90 to 99% of the phenomena that people perceive to be ghostly activity really can be explained by scientific or rational means. But that still leaves that small percent, maybe 1% or less, that to me is inexplicable.
And it's that one small 1% that we see a lot this time of year, being Halloween. L.B. Taylor, thanks for joining us here on the Hampton Road Show. The name of your book is Ghosts of Virginia's Tidewater. L.B. Taylor is a spooky dude with some really good stories to tell, and he is this week's Wreck on the Road. You know, with over 400 years of turbulent history in Virginia, yeah, there has to be something out there unexplainable, and L.B.'s been a good job of documenting that. Question is, the woman, before she went into her surgery, was she anesthetized? Was she already under the drugs? Did it come to her then? We don't know, but kind of a spooky story from L.B. And L.B., thanks for joining me at Yorktown. It's kind of a neat place to do it.
What about the petals?
What about the petals? Well,
yeah,
you know, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows
about
that?
Throw that up to the 1%, and it was the dog.
The petals. Yeah, it's kind of a dog theme in today's show, too. There's another dog.
I know. Spooky.
Yeah. Cool.